Hey guys, we're back here for some more Explorer. I've been using this deck here, kind of working my way up on the ladder, currently at Diamond Rank 2, and I really I saw some of the the comments you made on the deck, and I think that there was a lot of good things that were said. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I found out that kind of the changes that I made to the main deck weren't really adding as much as I would have liked. So I did shift it back to almost the initial build of the deck. Again, credit to the creator of this list, cjeffcoatjr, who originally built this deck. And again, that's linked in that first video, which should be in the playlist. But yeah, this list is just really clean. And so with the main deck, it's identical to the original list. I did make one minor change to the lands. It had been running 21 sources or 21 lands and then 18 sources of each color. And it had one basic mountain, and I can understand why it would be in there, but I don't think that the need is high enough for a basic. I think that you can do most of what you need to do in this deck with 3 mana or less. And so I decided to replace the basic mountain with 1 copy of Sokenzen, Crupul of Defiance, which really is quite good for what we're trying to do here and to swarm the board. So we're going to try it out. Maybe over several games I'll find out that the basic mountain really is just better, but for the moment I'm enjoying having the Sokenzen there in the land count. In terms of the sideboard, I did bring it back to where it had been originally, but I did remove 2 copies of Forge Devil and replace them with 2 copies of Giant Cindermaw. And even though I'm not running this in the main deck, I really do think this is a good sideboard card. It does completely shut down the Abzan Explore deck, and it also does really good work against the Angel deck that just gains like 1 billion life, and which is also a very hard matchup for this deck without some kind of help. So I think that it does have a place in the sideboard. So I'm keeping it at 2 copies, and then just lowering the Forge Devil count from 4 down to 2. This, I think, is primarily there for mono green with all of their elves. I think they have like the full 8 copies of elves to essentially ramp out, and this does help against that. But I think that there are some matchups where you do want the Giant Cindermaw, so I think it really does have some use there in the sideboard. Anyways, yeah, I've been loving this deck, and let's jump into a match. If this is your first time viewing my channel, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. If you like my content, do consider subscribing, dropping a comment, adding a like, or sharing it with someone who might benefit from it and really enjoy my channel also. And for my returning viewers, thank you guys again so much for being here. You guys mean the world to me, so thank you. I'm still kind of getting my feet wet here with this deck and just sort of learning the ins and outs of it. The deck list is really deep the way it was originally created, and yeah, I'm seeing the benefit now of having Giant Killer in the main board. And it's, I originally had discounted the utility of it, but it's a very good card and has its place for sure. Okay, so this opening hand looks great. We've got turn 1 Thraben Inspector into turn 2 Demolition. And then if we can pick up one of our Convoke creatures, this should be a really, really nice match. A really good hand. So we'll lead out here with Inspiring Vantage and Thraben Inspector. Looks like we're up against like Rakdos Control, just has lots of pinpoint removal, hand disruption with like Thoughtseize. And a lot of like discard also. Okay, so yeah, let's just demolition this turn. Reinforcements is a little bit more mana efficient. So maybe that's a consideration. I guess we can do this next turn. We have almost as many creatures this way, so I think I'm just going to go for the reinforcements this turn. And since we have 2 copies of Demolition in our hand, even if they Thoughtseize us, we'll have an extra copy. Alright, so let's go for Gleeful Demolition, and we can also drop our next Den of the Bugbear, since we don't need the mana. Okay, no discard. Interesting. Could trade here, but I think we want to just kind of go as big as we can. So I think we keep our guys on the board here. Take the hit. Okay, that's a really nice draw for us. And we definitely want to go for the full 5 since there are a lot of 5 drops to hit. 3 more Knight Errant Sevios and 4 Loxodons. So if you can go for 5, you definitely want to try to hit 5. Okay, great pickup here for us. We've got Loxodon, and since we have another Demolition, let's go ahead and pick up this Ornithopter. Okay, looks like unfortunately they have the removal for it, which sucks. But it was worth a shot. So then now I guess we'll just go for bringing Gigantha into the hand. So yeah, I think we go ahead and trade for the 4/4. We are getting a little bit low on life. Okay, so now we can play everything out here. Drop Gigantha. Yeah, and I think no need to make Gigantha a 6/6 here since it can properly block what we've got up on their end of the table, and then we'll have a 4/4. So pumping the other creature seems a little bit better. Yeah, I think here they're just looking for the triggers, so I think we're going to go ahead and... I don't think there's any -1/-1, so I'm just going to go ahead and block with the lock set on here, just in case they have something else like Pressure Giant. Okay, that was a really nice pickup there. So, let's see, they're at 22. Yeah, we just want to go ahead and do this right away and then play it out. We're still going to take the hit here from Shieldred, but yeah, I think we just do this, then we crash in for some damage. And I think we do a full send here. We are at 9, so they could potentially hit us back for 3, 6, 8. We'll have our Giant Killer to block if they do like a full out. Let's see, I guess they could do Croxit too. But yeah, I think it's safe to get in with everything. We've got to start pushing damage. I think we just play everything out here. We want access to all of our mana. Next turn we can hopefully push for game. Okay, so I'll have 3 blockers. So block, block, block. And we'll push 1, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, that's game. Alright, going into the sideboard. So they've got Shieldred. We want to bring in both copies of Get Lost for their kind of larger creatures. And then I think we want to bring in 2 copies of Wedding Announcement just because they have tons of removal and we want to be able to set up there a little bit. The other card that I think is good here, since they do run Kroxa, they do run a couple things that involve the graveyard, is Rest in Peace. So we're going to try both. I'm not sure if it warrants both of them, but we'll bring them both in. The other thing they do have access to is Languish or Extinction Event. So this could be a good deck to bring in Redain. And then with all of these things we're bringing in, we got to make room somehow. So I think they're going to have a lot of removal, which will strand kind of our Gleeful Demolitions. So I think cutting the Ornithopters, as they're pretty low impact by themselves. They do help power things out, but it is one of the weaker cards. And then I think some number of the Gleeful Demolitions probably also get cut. Is there anything else we want to cut here? I think everything else kind of makes sense. We want access to pretty much everything else here. So I think I'm just going to cut the Gleeful Demolitions. Not sure if this is correct, but yeah, we want Thalia, we want Redain, we want all of this. So do it like that. Okay, we need a hand that has some number of lands. Okay, this will work. And let's go ahead and throw back the Battlefield Forge here. So I think, unless we want to have access to 2 white, yeah, maybe we do. So I guess maybe throw back the Silken Zen. Lead out here with Inspector. We want to save Giant Killer to potentially get the adventure half of it first. And I think here we're just going to go ahead for reinforcements end of turn. So we have a couple options. We could wait for night to flip and then use our Giant Killer to kill their Trespasser. We could also play Thalia here to slow down, like if they have like Languish or something like that, but I don't think they're going to use that yet. So I think since we don't have a whole lot going on, waiting for night, and then we can discard maybe like Epicure, which is kind of our weakest card here in our hand. That feels pretty good. So again, we got a couple options here. I think maybe pitching the Chef at Dunes and using Get Lost on their Graveyard Glutton is an option. We're pretty high life total, so we could just play 2 spells and shrink it, and that might be fine too. We could potentially be walking into some mass removal, but what I like about that actually is then we can go like Thalia and then crack our clue token, which we no longer need. Do take a hit on the way back, but I think it's okay. And we do eventually want to get more land anyways, so I kind of like this. Yeah, it's a nice draw. This way we'll shrink it down to a 3/3. Oh, never mind. My mistake. We didn't shrink it, but I still think that was a decent kind of use of what we were going to do. I suppose we could have played like Thalia plus Giant Killer instead to shrink it. But we don't have any other creatures in the yard, so it's not that big a deal. And we don't want to trade our team for it, so I think we're just going to let it through. So I think we let the Get Lost go, and then we can go ahead and just start racing this Glutton. I think that's probably the move because we can play both of these next turn. So we'll go ahead and discard the Get Lost. Kind of like playing Epicure here, since, you know, we want to get the benefit of attacking with everything, and I think it is worth getting in with everything here. I suppose we could also just like push with like Recruiter plus Thalia, but losing one of our 1-drops to their Bone Crusher to push an extra 4 damage might be worth it. It's kind of close. Otherwise, what we could do is we could just go like Recruiter, swing for 6, set up Giant Killer to be ready to start tapping things down next turn. That's another option. They swing back for 7. We drop to 7. They could even hit us possibly down to... Okay, well, let's... Either way, I think we are going to be playing out one of these 1-drops. Certainly attacking for 6. Yeah, I think we race here. Like, they could hit us for 10, and then we could swing back for quite a bit. Like, we've got 10 actually on the crackback if they go, like, full out. If we draw a land, we can swing back for 10. Okay, that was a nice pickup. So now we got to be a little bit careful. Let's see. Oh, they're still waiting on our Polygon's command. Oh, nasty. All right, kind of a rough spot now. So let's see, they've got potentially 2 creatures there and 2 creatures here. Yeah, they'll hit our creatures here. So they're functionally swinging for 10 next turn. Can we even send? They could swing for 13. If they draw another land, they could swing for 15. Oof. So if we chump, we can go down to 1. And I think we definitely want to race, like racing is how we win this game. So I think we swing in for Recruiter, see if they want to trade for Mutavault. Okay, they're going for it. So we drop to 1, double chump. I don't think we can win here, unfortunately. I don't think there's any sequence of cards we can draw. Yeah, that's gonna do it. So do we want to make any changes to what we saw? Yeah, I think Rest in Peace would be good. They've got Croxa. Do we want any number of Gleeful Demolitions? Maybe like running 1 might be correct. I mean, we still have ways to produce artifacts. Like we have 4 Thraben Inspectors and 4 Epicures. Maybe it's good to run 1, but it just, I don't know. Without the Ornithopters, I feel like a lot less likely. I think we've got the right board here. We could bring in Cindermaw to stop life gain. That could be a consideration. I don't know if this is better than like Wedding Announcement. Wedding Announcement is kind of slow, but it does produce more guys. So it's kind of either or. And I guess this does like decently block some of their stuff. So maybe this is better. Yeah, not really sure what I would cut to make room for it though. So I think we still definitely want like a number of like lower drops to help with like Warden. Just kind of comes down to whether you want Wedding Announcement or Cindermaw. Yeah, I guess they have like Shieldred. They have the Graveyard Trespasser. Not really sure here. I'm going to try it out because I do like the large body. It kind of helps. If they're running like Path of Peril, could be good there. Okay, this hand is kind of threat light, but I don't really want a mulligan, and it does have, you know, some advantage here with like Den of the Bugbear. Rest in Peace is nice. Epicure we can use to filter. I'm gonna try it out. Not sure it's correct to keep this, but I think it's good enough. All right, let's lead out with Den of the Bugbear. let's just get the Rest in Peace going. This will also help with their Graveyard Trespasser. If they run like Alkalots, it'll be good against that also. So let's Pathway for white. Then we can run out our Cindermaw. We're going to value our Cindermaw a little bit higher, so we're going to go ahead and not block. Okay, that was a nice pickup. So we have enough here. Okay, I think we need to play the Sheffet Dunes to be able to get it all in there. And this is nice because making Cindermaw for toughness, especially if they have like the 3 damage to everything sorcery, will be really good. So yeah, I guess we're racing here. Get Lost is a nice pickup. Can use that on their Harvester before they can untap it. That feels pretty good. We are definitely getting low on life though, so we could just send for 4 and leave back our Cindermaw. Then they could push with Hive Tyrant. So otherwise, if we push for 9, drop them to 8, get them in range. If we get Lost their Harvester, they could like use this to make it a 5/5, but I don't think they can kill us. So I think we shove with everything here, just to try to get them in range. Because like the next turn, like they could leave back their Hive Tyrant. Yeah, I think we go for it. Okay, so they can make it a 5/5. Question is, do they swing? Like if they have one piece of removal for one of our like reinforcement guys, it's still pretty dangerous to swing, because if we draw land, we just kill them with Den of the Bugbear. They need multiple pieces of removal here. Oh, they've got Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess we could use our blood token here to, like, if we draw, I'm trying to think if there's any card we could draw that would matter. I don't think so. Since this thing has ward, I don't think it actually matters. I think we just let it go. So now, since we haven't got lethal, we'll just set up here with Jegantha, and then just push with a Cindermaw. That way we can block with our 2/2, unless they've got removal. They won't have enough mana to actually kill us. Question is, do we want to keep Jegantha? We could cycle it to try to get, like, land. I suppose if we have land, like, we attack with Den of the Bugbear plus our 2/2 and a 1/1. I think just playing the Jegantha is pretty good too, since we're not under immediate pressure. So maybe holding it. So Recruiter's nice. Even if it just trades for their 3/2, we're still pushing an extra 3 damage, which feels great. And I think we still push with both. Since we're at 8, they can only do 6 to us right now, unless... I guess they could do 7. But it's not quite enough. Yeah, they drew the Rending Volley. So this is tough because now they have lethal. Yeah, maybe we should have got rid of Jegantha. I suppose, yeah, if we don't draw land. I think that might have been a misplay there, not getting rid of Jegantha end of turn. Although, like, if we draw land, we can just block with it. So would have loved to be able to do that. So here, I think we won't have any way of playing Knight Errant, I don't think. So I think we want to go for the Jegantha. So I think we maybe discard the Knight and try to just draw a chump blocker. But that might be it right there. Wow. What a top deck. Oh my god. Oh, that's awesome. That's exactly what we needed. Okay, so now I think maybe we try to get them to commit. Could do it on their turn. I think they go for it. Not out of the woods, unfortunately, because, yeah, just by targeting it, we take 2, so we're still... I think we're still just dead here to their Hive Tyrant, unfortunately, since we drew this land. So, yeah, we put up a valiant effort, but just didn't quite get there. That was a good match. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, again, you know, one thing I was thinking, it would be really great if you see like different lines of maybe that we could have taken during the match, you know, maybe misplays I made, or like if you want to do like a different line that you think might have been better, put it in the comments, because I think it will really help like the entire channel. And you know, I'm just here to learn too, so planning to like do as much practice as I can for the upcoming qualifier weekend. And I'm really hoping that this inspires some of you guys to maybe try to, you know, do the qualifier plan as well, and maybe even try this deck. And if you try it, you know, let me know how the deck works for you and how it goes. So thanks guys for watching. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. Okay, not super fun to look at, but yeah, the only 2 matches that I've done on my computer here where I've been able to save it into the data here with untapped.gg have both been losses, just been the two ones that I've cast for you guys. All my other games earlier today that I've used to level up on ladder have been on my laptop, which unfortunately they don't have the ability for untapped.gg to collect the data from those games. But again, this list is a lot closer to the original list that was made by the deck builder. And in that standard best of 1 event, we did go 7-2 with it. So I do think the deck definitely has some legs. You know, unfortunately, these best of 3 have not gone our way, but several best of 3 I have navigated through earlier today on my laptop. So I'm hoping to make more of these videos. Anyways, thanks guys for watching, and we will see you next time.